What's going on, everybody? I'm Tank, and this is another episode of Roadie Reactions. In today's reaction video, we're going to be checking out the latest release from Ajren Lucassen. And most people know him as the producer, songwriter, multi-instrumentalist, and sometimes vocalist behind Ayreon. But other than that, he has a ton of other projects he's working on all the time, one of them being Star One, which we're checking out today. Now, to be completely honest with everybody, I haven't spent a lot of time checking out Star One. I have had a lot of people tell me I need to check this out because there are a couple great albums he's put out. But I have heard a few songs, so I'm really excited to finally sit down and check this out, and excited for a new album. In early 2022, a new Star One album will come out. Now, I don't know all the details on everything right now, but I do know it's his first album with this project in over 10 years, and if I find out if there's pre-orders available or when it's coming out, I'll drop a nice little fact right here and put some info in the description where you can pre-order and support Ayreon if you would like to. Now, one of the coolest things about this project is that he's going to feature a different guest vocalist on every track. And in the song that we're checking out today, vocals are provided to us by Brittney Slays of Unleash the Archers. Now, besides her, it's also going to have a guest appearance by Romeo of Symphony X. So I'm super excited to check this out, so let's just jump into it. I will link this original video in the description below, and today I'm once again listening to Star One, and for the very first time watching the brand new music video for the song Fate of Man. Let's go! I think the other thing worth mentioning that I forgot in the intro is that I read that while Ayreon continues a storyline through all of his songs, a lot of the Star One stuff is just individual songs. There's no continuing story through the album, but they are all sci-fi based, and from what I read, the lyrics to the song were inspired by Terminator. Let's go. Hold on. What did that say in the bottom? Metal assault imminent? Yes! Let's go! Ed! Oh, there she is. Before we start getting into vocals, man, the musicianship in this already is great, but how heavy he's laying it on with the synthesizers in the background, all this is so damn cool, man. Admittedly, I've never really gotten into like prog rock and stuff until I started this YouTube channel. Obviously, there were some standouts back in the day for me, like Rush and stuff like that, but after I first discovered Ayreon and got into Ayreon's work, he has single-handedly made me love this style of music, honestly. And I'm so impressed by the musicianship of not only him, but everybody he gets involved in all this. Now, there's a lot of gear in the background shots of these. Stuff that unless I freeze frame and go zoom in and zoom out and stuff like that, I'm not going to be able to get everything. So I'm going to stick to the basics that I normally do, the gear that I know. And right away, one of the really cool things that stood out to me is the bass that he's playing. That's a Dingwall. It's an Afterburner 2, and those are very standoutish because they're semi-hollow body guitars. You can see there's like the little signature in there that's like carved out. It's semi-hollow, so it kind of produces a warm, almost open-airy acoustic tone. But that looks like an older model of an Afterburner. It doesn't have the normal Dingwall logo on it. It doesn't have the normal inlays on it. And even the way that the volume and tone knobs are laid out is different. So I don't know the year on that, but I would guess that that's an older one from Dingwall, which we don't see too much. But let's continue and hear some vocals. All right, dude, this is sick. You know what I really, really love about this, other than the music itself? I already love Brittney's voice. You guys that know this channel know that. I love her work with Unleash the Archers, but I'm loving these lyrics. Terminator, one of my favorite series of all times. Let's not talk about Terminator 3, though. That one was a little weird. The only other music that I love that I can think of that was really Terminator based was Fear Factory, man, especially in Demanufactured. There are a lot of samples taken from Terminator and stuff in there, but this is sick, man. I absolutely love it. Let's go back to Ayreon real quick, because like I said in the intro, a lot of people are familiar with Ayreon from Ayreon. That's no argument that that's his most popular project. And just like this, he does a lot of the recording for that too, the guitars, the bass, a lot of the keyboards. But Ed Warby, who's playing drums on this, also plays on a lot of the Ayreon stuff. And I haven't seen him in this video, but I would just assume that Joost is also a part of Star One. I'll look that up and make sure. But I love how much fun he has with all of these projects. That's what's the coolest. Now, we've already talked about the bass. Let's talk about the guitar. I don't know exactly what specific model it is, but he's definitely playing an Ibanez RG. Double humbucking pickups. He's got a single coil in the middle position. It looks like it's got a Floyd Rose on it, or if it's Ibanez, it might be one of their Edge Zero designs. So I would gather that it's probably a prestige model, but I think it's older, like at least older than the last decade, which considering Ayreon's been recording music for a long time, I would assume that as well. And at the beginning, it looked like he was playing like a mini Moog for the synthesizing. And again, I love the synthesizers in all of this. Really quick, back to Ed Warby. Ed has been on tons of Ayreon's releases. I think he's recorded on almost every Ayreon album. Ayreon discovered him when he's with one of his other bands. I'm blanking out on the name right now. Well, we'll make sure it comes up in the pop-ups. But Ayreon discovered him playing with another band, and then he's basically exclusively played with Ayreon ever since. And he's playing a Sonar drum kit. And Sonar is not a kit that we see in a lot of videos anymore, even though they're a gigantically popular company. They're a German drum manufacturer, and in fact, they're one of the oldest drum manufacturers in the world. I believe they were started in like 1875 or something like that. So very prestigious, very great products. Not surprising to see Ed playing something like that. Symbol-wise, I recognize the logo. I think the company's name is Amidia, something like that. I'll have to look it up, but they're a Turkish cymbal company, like a lot of them are, but I believe they're fairly new within the last 10 years or so. I'll look up some stuff and we'll try and find out more about that. But let's listen to more, and if I see anything that pops up, we'll talk some more. I like the bell work that Ed's doing on the drums. All right, before this change here, that was really cool, actually. Dude, I keep looking at the shots of Ayreon, like, in front of all of his keyboards and synthesizers and electronics rack and amps. Like, the crazy thing is, because he's been doing stuff for so long, I bet we're only seeing a fraction of the gear that he actually owns, man. It's insane. And the only thing that I've really caught in that big stack of electronics was I did notice an EVH 5150. I don't know if that's necessarily what he used to record this because, you know, as we know in music videos, what you see isn't necessarily what you're actually hearing. But I just remembered that Michael Romeo is in this, and I'm assuming it's going to be a solo because we haven't seen him yet. So let's see what we get here. Great change. One of the things that I just noticed in this video that I think is really cool is whoever edited this, while there's movements going on, when it kind of has that red overlay on it where it looks like the Terminator's vision, it's got the little circles that are focusing on what's moving. So you had it focused in on Michael's hand when he was playing the solo, and then when Ed is moving around on his kit, it's following his movements. That's a really cool touch, man. I love that. So Michael Romeo, I mean, we already knew coming into this, if you're a fan of progressive music or metal in general, you probably know who Michael Romeo is, most known from Symphony X. And what he's playing is actually his signature guitar model from Comparison. The only reason I actually know that is because last time I was on Comparison's website nerding out over gear, I think I was looking up a lot of the stuff that Tom England from Evergrey uses. I saw that Michael Romeo has a signature from Comparison. I don't know all the specs on the guitar. I'm going to have to look it up because I am interested. But I do believe I remember reading that it's a bolt-on neck, and he uses DiMarzio pickups, and it's a very simple electronics layout. There's just a master volume control and then what looks like a three-way toggle switch for the pickup selectors, and that's it. There's no tone knobs, no nothing like that. Very simple. I love it. Let's finish this off, man. I was almost expecting a key change right there. Oh my God, man, that is sick. I can't wait for this, if that's a good taste of things to come with this upcoming album. You know who's going to love this? My dad. This is great, man. I loved hearing Brittney on this. Of course, nobody doubts her vocal talents either. We all knew what we were going to get with that. Let's go talk more about it. So that was about a 5.5 minute long video. I felt like it flew by. It seemed a lot shorter than that. But I just looked at my timestamp from recording and it was almost 15 minutes. So I didn't feel like I did that much talking, but maybe I did. So if anybody wants to see this again without me talking a bunch of stuff over it, I'll always have the links to these original videos in the description. I would highly recommend that you go watch it there so you can see it again and you can check out stuff on your own as well, because I'm going to go back and watch again, because other than the music and a lot of the stuff going on, there's so much gear and stuff in that I just want to sit and analyze that Ayreon uses, man. Like, again, I love this guy. I love what he does with music. And on top of, you know, how impressive it is and stuff like that, he legitimately seems like he just loves it. He's having an absolute blast doing all of this. Like, I honestly don't even think he cares about money or fame or anything like that. He just loves making music, and you can see it in his mannerisms and in his face, and especially if you see videos of him talking about his music and his projects. It's so cool, man. And I love that he involves so many other people in on this stuff. I did see a couple other names off the top of my head. I can't remember everything because there were so many guests that are coming up on this album. I think I remember Steve Vai is doing a guest guitar solo on this album. And a ton of other vocalists, man. I mean, I'll try and look it up and provide that in the video to, you know, if anybody's interested. But this is cool, man. I cannot wait for this. And again, once I find out some more info on the actual album release, I'll try and update it on here for you guys. I'll throw it in the description of this video, provide some links and all that stuff. But the best way for you guys to keep in the know right now is if you like artists, follow them on social media, get all of their updates. So I'll throw links to all of Ayreon's stuff in the description below. Keep up to date with it because, again, we are expecting this album early next year, which at this point is only in a few months. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that as much as I did. And again, I know I'm going to send this to my dad right away because he loves Ayreon. He's going to freak out over this too. And if this is your first time here, feel free to click subscribe. I release new reactions all the time. Subscribing is free, and it helps my channel out a ton. If you liked this reaction, I would greatly appreciate the like, as it also helps the channel. But if you disliked it, no big deal, man. Thank you very much for your time. You are free to click dislike and move on. I'm also on a ton of different social media. I have a Discord server a ton of us are always hanging out on. I have a Twitch where I play video games, play bass, do guitar tech work, and do reactions. So if you're interested in any of that, I'll throw the links in the description below. My handle on everything social media is @TankTheTech. Thank you so very much for watching. I will be back very soon with another episode of Roadie Reactions.